1991, the Gulf War, a war where modern warfare finally revealed its true face. Jets in the sky, tanks on the ground, and the roar of advanced weapons everywhere. But today, we're not just talking about their power, we are talking about the hidden weaknesses, the ones that made these weapons unreliable when it mattered the most. This video is divided into two parts. Part 1, pistols. Part 2, assault rifles. And by the end, you will decide for yourself which weapon was truly the king of the Gulf War and which one was only powerful by name. And one weapon at the very end will completely shock you.
Part 2. Assault rifles. Pistols kept soldiers alive, but assault rifles decided who controlled the battlefield. In Part 2, we look at the guns that were the real backbone of the Gulf War. Fast fire, long range, extreme power. But every one of them had a hidden weakness that, under specific conditions, could turn a weapon into a liability. M16A2, the US Army's primary weapon. The M16A2, light, fast, and accurate at long range. In ideal conditions, this rifle was almost perfect. A trained soldier could put 3 rounds into a target 300 meters away in under 2 seconds. But Iraq's desert was its biggest enemy. Sand, fine dust, and extreme heat choked this rifle. It required constant cleaning. In the middle of a firefight, when there was no time to clean, the M16A2 could fail you exactly when you needed it most. A rifle that demands perfection in the middle of a war, is that a weapon or a burden? AK-74, Iraqi forces. If the M16A2 demanded perfect conditions, the AK-74 laughed at conditions. Sand, mud, water, heat, this rifle kept firing. Iraqi soldiers trusted it because it never let them down, no matter what. But trust came at a cost. The AK-74's accuracy at long range was significantly weaker than the M16A2. Up close, devastating. At distance, unreliable. And in the open desert terrain of the Gulf War, distance mattered enormously. M4 carbine, shorter, lighter, faster than the M16. The M4 carbine was built for speed. Special forces loved it because it was easy to carry, easy to handle, deadly up close. But what the M4 gained in size, it lost in range. In open desert engagements, where enemies were 400, 500 meters away, the M4 was outranged. The same weapon that was perfect in tight spaces became a disadvantage in wide open ground.
Wait, what I am about to tell you now, you will not have heard on any other channel. In the Gulf War, there was a weapon whose name made the enemy's hands tremble. And that weapon was, in the next 60 seconds, your entire view will change.
The FAL Allied Forces, the rifle that NATO called the right arm of the free world. Powerful, long-range, and battle-tested across multiple wars before the Gulf. But in the Gulf War, its weight worked against it. Soldiers carrying this rifle over long distances in extreme heat fatigued faster. A tired soldier makes mistakes, and in war, mistakes are permanent.
8 minutes ago, you only knew these weapons. Now, you know their soul. Every gun was powerful, but every gun was flawed, too. And that was the Gulf War's greatest lesson. The real king of the battlefield was not one single weapon. It was the soldier, who knew his weapon's weakness and pulled the trigger anyway. Now, the question is yours. That battlefield, that sand, that 50-degree hell, and only one weapon in your hands. Which one would you choose? Tell me in the comments. And if this video taught you something new, subscribe to the channel. The next video is even darker.
Part 1. Pistols. In the Gulf War, pistols were not just backup weapons. They were the name of that moment, when a soldier had nothing left, only this small gun and his own life. Today, we will look at 5 pistols that stood between life and death on that battlefield, but only a few of them actually held up under pressure. Beretta M9. We begin with the US Army's most trusted companion, the Beretta M9. This gun was so fast that a trained soldier could fire 3 rounds in a single second. In close combat, that speed is the difference between life and death. But then came Iraq's scorching sand and a 50-degree hell on earth. And here, this so-called reliable gun lost its character. Performance dropped, jammed, and the soldier was left holding nothing but a paperweight. Think about it. You have this gun in your hand and it jams. What do you do in the next 3 seconds?
Next comes the pistol that had already fought wars before the Gulf War, the M1911A1. This gun's stopping power was so brutal that a single shot could freeze an enemy right where he stood. One shot, just one. But here was the real problem. Only 7 bullets, and a reload so slow that in that time, the enemy could get very close to you, dangerously close. Sig Sauer P226. This gun only went into special hands. Navy SEALs, Special Forces, elite units. The SIG P226's accuracy was so tight that it hit targets at distances where other pistols were firing in the dark. But it had a secret that most people don't know. This gun was a king in clean environments, but the Gulf War's sand, oil, and heat made it unstable. The same gun that saved SEALs' lives struggled to survive in the filth of the battlefield. The Walther P1. The German P1, simple, straightforward, built for one purpose, to survive. No fancy features, but that was also its strength. When other guns were jamming, the P1 was still running. But against modern war, its firepower was limited. This gun was like a rook in chess. Defends strongly, but limited in attack. Tokarev TT-33, and now the gun that caused the most damage to its own people. The Tokarev TT-33. It was common in Iraqi forces' hands. Strong penetration, good range, but it had one flaw that was deadly. This gun had no proper safety system, meaning accidental discharge, your own bullet, your own soldier. This is not just a war story. This actually happened. Think about it. Dying not from the enemy, but from your own gun. That was the darkest reality of the Gulf War.